Good afternoon, folks. This is Robert Chappell, Executive Editor of Madison365, and this is how dedicated I am to bringing you the latest news. Juventus and Porto are in extra time in the round of 16 in the Champions League. Right, I've got it on my iPad right over there. I'm not going to pay attention to it. It's a huge comeback for Juventus today, if they can pull this off and win it. But I'm going to pay attention to you. I'm going to bring you the news. I'm going to catch up on that later. This is how you know you're a soccer nerd. You start to plan your day around Champions League fixtures. So today, the numbers and the coronavirus numbers are frankly not the best. Generally speaking, overall, nothing to panic about. But the numbers just for today really looking not good at all. We have fewer tests and more cases. That's never a good thing, right? Only 1,456 new tests reported today. 463 positive. Yesterday, it was over 2,000 and 178 were positive. So, that's 31% for the day. It's the last several days have been right around like 8% of the new tests have been positive. Today it's 31.8, so that's not great at all. Now, long-term effects, that's what that does is it increases our day-to-day 7-day case average to 392. That was 372 yesterday. The 7-day positive test rate is still 2.2, which is fine. That's fine. That's good. Actually, that's better than fine. So, again, nothing to panic about. The day-to-day number is just new results, right? Either somebody getting tested negative for the first time or somebody who's been tested negative before getting their first positive result. Excuse me. So that's not, I don't love that day-to-day number, but it's not the worst thing in the world. If we get a few more days like that, I'll be more concerned, right? So we will see. We'll keep an eye on it. We did also report 29 fatalities today. That's about the same as we did last week at this time. Excuse me. So our day-to-day 7-day average of fatalities reported stays at 10. So again, most of the spread numbers are fine. 2.2% positive test rate. That's like the main number we want to focus on, 2.2%. Well below 3, stayed at 2.2% for the past 3 days. I'd love for it to continue to go down, but it's pretty low. It's not much further down it can go, frankly, until we're all vaccinated, right? So I'm not worried about that. 29 fatalities is never good news, but we reported 0 yesterday, so that's so we're doing fine. Where we are doing better, even, is vaccinations, and we're going to talk about vaccines because I got a really good question in a Facebook message from a listener not too long ago today. So we're going to talk a little bit about how do you find out whether you're eligible for the vaccine and where you can find more information on that. But we did have almost 10,000 people today finish their vaccine. It's just, since yesterday. And about 15,500 people got the first shot yesterday. Now that 10,000 that completed the vaccine includes some, not sure how many, some people who just got the one dose of the shot of the Johnson & Johnson, right? So those people are getting their first shot and they're finishing their vaccine at the same time. It's a smaller number, probably, but there are some included in there. Now, the other thing I'll mention in terms of vaccines is we got a note from Madison Metro School District who says, they started kindergarten yesterday. They're starting first and second grade next Tuesday. They are confident that between all the various ways to get vaccinated, every Madison Metro School District employee has multiple options right now, which is great. So they're having, they've got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine available at Alliant Energy Center through Public Health Madison-Dane County. They've got their own internal vaccination clinic at La Follette High School on Friday. They still have appointments available for that, apparently, for some folks who are eligible. All of their staff are eligible at the state level, but they have 1,200 doses, so they have to prioritize people within their staff. But those people have been invited, and they still have options available, as well as their federal supply available from like Walgreens and stuff. So it sounds like Madison Metro school staff have at least options to get vaccinated, and I would imagine that's true for everybody. That's a good question. Tanya has a question. Any details about who's testing positive? Not a lot. I can tell you. Give me 1 second. I can tell you like county. I can tell you locations. But the thing is, at this point, there's so much data correction happening. Come on, here we go. That it's a lot of these might be old positives, actually. Old being a week ago, that kind of thing. But it's pretty spread out. Waukesha County is the most with 49 new cases today. Brown County with 34. Dane County with 29. So even these are not anything close to the numbers we've seen in the past. It's the fact that there's more today than there were yesterday. Again, it might be just a data catch-up thing. If it continues this way for a few days, then we'll start to ask more questions, right? But in terms of cases per capita, it's excuse me, Price County, Polk County, Rusk County remains the more rural counties. Where in Price County, only 4 new cases, but it's such a small county in terms of population, 4 cases is a lot. That's 30 per 100,000 residents. So unfortunately, there's not a good. It's not like we can point at one outbreak somewhere. Remember a year ago, or maybe not quite a year ago, but like in May of last year, when there's a big spike in Brown County, and you could point to one meatpacking plant. We're not able to do that today with these numbers, unfortunately. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but really, it just seems to be hopefully it's just a data blip, that it's just kind of some catch up data, and we'll see what happens in the future. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about vaccines and how to get one. You can go to Walgreens and make an appointment online. They're scheduling 3 days out. You can go to this website. I'll drop the link in the comments here. But this is the sort of the vaccine hub. And I put the link in the comments so you can hit that link. But if you click here where it says, "Am I eligible?" and talk through, these are the people. These are the groups. I'll make this bigger for you so you can see it better. Frontline healthcare personnel, residents of long-term care. These are people who are all eligible right now. And this is the order of their priority. So police and fire personnel, adults, all adults 65 and older, educators and childcare workers, people enrolled in Medicaid long-term care programs, some public-facing essential workers. So this requires, you click the little thing there and it'll tell you. Utility and communications workers, public transit, food supply chain. That was one of the specific questions that Jennifer, who asked this question, had, was about farmers and truck drivers who move produce and food. And it looks to me like farm owners and farm employees are eligible right now under this food supply chain provision here. So, they're sort of lower in the priority list, but they are eligible. Non-frontline essential healthcare, what does that mean? These are people who work in the healthcare business, but aren't doing day-to-day patient care, right? All those folks are eligible. Congregate living facility staff and residents. So that includes employer housing, shelters, transitional housing, and people who are in prisons and jails. Now, who's not yet eligible? Everybody else, myself included. You notice journalists just not in there anywhere, which is fine. I can wait. I have privileges. I can wait. But you can keep an eye on this. And then also the other thing I'll mention, now, if you got a pen, jot down this number. This is the State of Wisconsin Vaccine Help Center. 844-684-1064. I'll say that again, 1-844-684-1064. And they'll be able to help you out and answer your questions about when you can take the vaccine, when you're eligible, and that kind of thing. All right, I hope that's helpful. Now, there's a few other news stories, local and national, that I'll want to talk through real quick after the break. It will be, don't scroll away, more. We'll be right back. Juventus and Porto are now well into the second half of extra time. Still, Juventus leads today 2-1, which on aggregate means they're tied 3-3. Porto is playing with 10 men. They played with 10 men for the last half hour of regular time. So this is another 5 or 10 minutes, and this will be headed into penalties, which is just wild. Okay, anybody who tells you soccer is boring hasn't watched this kind of thing. So let's talk about Tara Allen. Today's 12 rounds subject is Tara Allen. She was the director of preschool programs at one city schools until the summer. They had to cut back, and she is now working at American Family. She is the first lady at Mount Zion Baptist Church. Her husband is Pastor Marcus Allen there, and she has some really interesting things to say about her faith, about how faith works in her marriage, about how she enjoys her grits. These are the important questions, right? So check that out. It's on the website, Madison365.org. Also in the news today, the Latino Chamber of Commerce, and I have to look at this word because I am not a Spanish speaker. There's a new video series that's going to be on their Facebook page, on the Latino Chamber of Commerce Facebook page. Emprendedora, basically entrepreneurship. Emprendedora, I think that's right. I hope I'm not butchering that. The idea is it's a video series to encourage and empower Latino business owners. A lot of entrepreneurial energy in Madison's Latino community. A lot of people who they don't even know what business they want to start. They just know they want to start one. So this is an idea to motivate, engage, empower Latino women and men to start those businesses and to help them figure out how to do so. Right. Also, and we got the story that Naomi Wolf spoke with Jessica Cavazos, who's the president of the chamber, and has that story at Madison365.org. National news, the boyfriend of Breonna Taylor, who was killed by Louisville police, was still facing charges because Kenneth Walker is his name. He shot one of the police officers who came barreling through the door, wounded him, not fatal. But the judge permanently dismissed all the charges against Mr. Walker. So, other than the trauma of that experience, he's free and clear now of any criminal charges based on that incident. And finally today, if you're a Madison person, you probably know Madison is a very festival-y town, right? There are 270 major festivals every summer. Well, not just summers, every year, spring, summer, fall. And almost all of them were canceled last year. Shamrock Shuffle, early in March, like early on in this pandemic, Shamrock Shuffle got canceled. You got, Milton Street, Willie Street Festival, Fête de Marquette, all this stuff. And with the current health order that goes into effect tomorrow, you can have up to 500 people outdoors. So a lot of people are cautiously optimistic. And again, I don't want to say like that the numbers today are cause to be hesitant about this, or to to say these festivals are a bad idea. No reason to panic about one day of weird numbers, but I think it's kind of good news that preparations are underway to actually have these festivals. It's a big thing for the economy. It's a big thing for the culture here in Madison. I'd like to see more diversity at some of these festivals, frankly. They do get kind of white sometimes. But the people who organize these festivals are cautious people. They care about safety, but they're also cautiously optimistic at this point. So that's great news. And it was Metcalf's Monday yesterday, so that's a leftover slide from that. So a little free mention for Metcalf's. We appreciate their support. Thank you for your time and attention today. That's all I have for you. Get outdoors. You'll notice I've got my short sleeves on. I hope you do too. It's 60-something degrees, 59 degrees now, and sunny here in the Madison area. So get out and enjoy yourself in a socially distant fashion. And I'll be back here tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And, I do try to get to questions. And Jennifer Rude dropped a question in our Facebook inbox about how do I know if I'm eligible to be vaccinated? And I'm happy to try to address some of those questions. So keep them coming. If you have questions, email news@madison365.org. Message us on Facebook. We get all those messages and questions, and we're happy to help out. So that's what we're here for. Thanks. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is 365 Media.